What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everyone's doing well out there, and welcome to our Week 12 Fantasy Football Rankings. That's right, getting these videos out early because of all the games on Thanksgiving. Hit the like button if you're grateful for 10 videos in 3 days, because that's what we're doing here. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot in a little amount of time, but don't worry, we got you covered with your top 24 quarterbacks and your quick and dirty top 30 running backs here for Week 12. Before we get into the content, a quick reminder, we're running a sale right now, a pre-order sale on our 2023 Fantasy Football Draft Guide. If you use the promo code THANKS22 at checkout, you're going to get 30% off your draft guide for 2023, so make sure you find that link down below and get yours pre-ordered right now. But we're not wasting any more time. Let's dive into some quarterbacks and look at our top 24 here for this week. And number one's going to be Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs going up against the Rams on Sunday. This is a Rams team that's pretty depleted, and really Patrick Mahomes only needs Travis Kelce, so he's at number one. Number two, Josh Allen playing on Thanksgiving against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Number three, Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles, been putting the team on his back here as of late. He's playing up against Green Bay on Sunday Night Football. Number four is Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals. He said earlier that they expect Jamar Chase to play. Was he just kind of playing with the media, or is that an actual possibility? Either way, Joe Burrow and the weapons he has sitting at number four. Number five, Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins going up against the Houston Texans, a team whose secondary is pretty banged up right now, and you know Tua can put up some huge numbers. He's at 5. 6, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys, you know they're playing on Thanksgiving against the New York Giants. Dak's starting to play really well here as of late and should have a great opportunity to do it once again this weekend. Number 7, Geno Smith, fresh off the bye, followed by number 8, Lamar Jackson, who continues to drop down the rankings a little bit just due to the lower ceiling each and every week. Lamar is more average, I guess you could say, this year than a spectacular. Got him at number 8. Number 9, Justin Herbert, because right now Thanksgiving's right around the corner, and you know I'm feeling fancy, but Herbert out there going up against my own Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. He has Keenan Allen back, so Justin Herbert's at 9. 10, this is where I have Justin Fields. Now, of course, he's going to be limited in practice, but is he going to be limited going into the weekend? If he's a full go, he may climb a few spots, but I'm a little bit worried that we don't see the rushing upside, and a tough matchup going up against the Jets in New York worries me a little bit. Got Justin Fields right here at number 10, followed by number 11, Jimmy G, and all the weapons he has at his disposal. 12, Tom Brady coming off the bye week there for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They look to be a little bit healthier than maybe what we saw first half of the season. Can they make a run starting now? They're going up against Cleveland. How about number 13, Derek Carr, Las Vegas Raiders, going up against Seattle, who is coming off their bye week as well. Derek Carr and Devontae Adams alone are enough to make this guy a high-end quarterback too. He's at 13. 14 is Kyler Murray. This is kind of wishful thinking. Do not know for sure whether or not he's actually going to play just yet. If it's Colt McCoy, no, he does not just take over this spot. He will be at the bottom of the rankings. I'm not starting Colt McCoy. Kyler Murray, right now, tempering expectations. He's at 14. 15 is Kirk Cousins coming off that horrific Week 11 performance. Can he do a little bit better in primetime on Thanksgiving? He's sitting all the way down here at 15. Number 16 then is Trevor Lawrence coming off the bye week, going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Not the easiest of matchups, and honestly, that's why I've dropped him a few spots down to 16. 17 then is Aaron Rodgers, the Packers, going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, their Sunday Night Football, and all of a sudden, him and Christian Watson are a lethal connection. Now, of course, that touchdown kind of upside cannot continue, but with Randall Cobb back, I still like Aaron Rodgers, got him at 17. Then on to 18, Taylor, give me a Heineke, Washington Commandos, going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Not a bad matchup for Heineke here this week. Maybe you got one of these Kyler Murrays or Matthew Staffords who are banged up, maybe even Justin Fields, and you're just looking for an insurance policy. I don't mind number 18 here, Tyler Heineke, or number 19, Ryan Tannehill either, who all of a sudden is throwing the ball deep to Treylon Burks. I got him at 19. 20 is Daniel Jones, who basically has no offensive line or wide receivers at this point. 21, Marcus Mariota, the Atlanta Falcons, going up against those Washington Commandos, a defense that's playing really great here as of late, so Marcus Mariota dropped way down the rankings this week. Plus, no Kyle Pitts, whether that matters or not. 22, Jared Goff, Detroit Lions, Thursday against the Buffalo Bills there on Thanksgiving. 23, Kenny Pickett, who's starting to turn the corner a little bit, looking a little bit better. 24, Russell Wilson, really not turning the corner very much. Haven't seen a whole lot from this offense. Now they're missing a lot of running backs. The only reason he's really sitting right here is they're going to have to throw it a little bit more. Hopefully he can get some weapons back and healthy this week. Got Russell Wilson at 24. But now it's time to transition over into the running backs, and we're kicking it off with our quick and dirty top 30 running backs right here. Number 1, it's Austin Ekeler, once again of the Los Angeles Chargers. As soon as they get Mike Williams back, they lose him again, which means more targets for Austin Ekeler. He's at number 1. Number 2, Derrick Henry, who's apparently throwing touchdown passes now, and on the verge of setting a career high in receiving. Number 3, Christian McCaffrey, a little bit higher than maybe a lot of people have him, just due to Elijah Mitchell also in this backfield. But I love this matchup here this week going up against the Saints. Christian McCaffrey at 3. 4, Saquon Barkley, and honestly, he may drop a little bit as we head into the game tomorrow, now that we know his offensive line is just absolutely decimated. Going up against the Dallas Cowboys, they need to utilize Saquon Barkley a little bit more in the receiving game to get that higher ceiling. Number 5, Josh Jacobs. Dude is absolutely killing it when he gets over 20 touches, and now all of a sudden, the Raiders seem to recognize that, and the volume is starting to return more consistently. Got him at 5. 6, Kenneth Walker, the touchdown scoring machine coming off of his bye week, followed by number 7, Jonathan Taylor, who now has touchdowns in back-to-back weeks, and is starting to look a little bit more like vintage JT. Number 8, Nick Chubb, Cleveland Browns. He's got a very difficult matchup going up against Tampa Bay. Last week, we saw Cleveland rely on Chubb early and then kind of go away from him as the game went on. Can they continue all 4 quarters with Nick Chubb? Had to drop him down a few spots. He's at 8. Number 9 then's Dalvin Cook, whose Minnesota Vikings got absolutely waxed last week by the Dallas Cowboys. Dalvin Cook sitting at 9. 10, it's still Ramondre Stevens season, in my opinion. That pass catching volume is too much to ignore. He's at number 10, followed by number 11, Tony Pollard, who as of right now is the back to start in Dallas. Now, no, I'm not completely off Ezekiel Elliott, but the big plays, the touchdown, the pass catching work, that's going the way of Tony Pollard as well. He's at number 11, followed by number 12, Travis Etienne, who's coming off his bye week against a difficult Baltimore team. 13, Aaron Jones. And I mentioned in my start-sit video, it's a difficult matchup for him going up against Philadelphia, so we're going to need a big play this week and some pass-catching work from Aaron Jones. Dropped him down to 13. 14, James Conner. Moved up quite a bit here this week. Why? Not a lot of healthy weapons in Arizona and a good matchup going up against the Chargers. 15 may seem a little bit spicy, but it's Jeff Wilson Jr. of the Miami Dolphins, a game in which they're playing the Houston Texans, and I expect them to have a lead late, relying a little bit more on the running game. Got Jeff Wilson at 15. 16 then is David Montgomery, who could see an increase in volume if Justin Fields is limited. That's something we're definitely paying close attention to because it's a difficult matchup for them as well, going up against the Jets. 17, this is where I have Najee Harris, back-to-back games with 20 touches. That's what we want to see from Najee. About freaking time, because he hadn't done that the entire season until the last 2 weeks. Number 18, Dameon Pierce, Houston Texans, dropped him down quite a bit. Yes, there's a quarterback change, but they're also playing the Miami Dolphins, who, if they get an early lead, they're not going to be able to rely on the running game in Houston. So Dameon Pierce down here at 18. 19 is Miles Sanders playing Sunday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. Can we please find a touchdown somewhere for Miles Sanders, because his volume's starting to drop. We need the end zone. Number 20, Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints. Now 3 straight back-to-back bummer games for Alvin Kamara, and it's because there's more options in this offense right now than there had been at the beginning of the season when it was just the Kamara show. He's struggling. He's at 20. 21 then is Jamal Williams, the league leader in rushing touchdowns. Jamal Williams playing Thanksgiving Day. Difficult matchup for him going up against Buffalo, and I said it in my running back start sit video. I'm a little bit worried. To me, I have that gut feeling that this is the week that they try to have DeAndre Swift go off. Number 22, his opponent in that game, it's Devin Singletary. Been relied upon a little bit more with the injuries to Josh Allen. 23, Antonio Gibson, the guy getting the receiving work and the most consistent volume in the backfield for Washington, so he's at 23. 24 is where I have Zeke Elliott. Mentioned him earlier when we talked about Tony Pollard. He's still going to be utilized. Jerry Jones is going to make sure this dude has a role, and there's always that chance for the short touchdowns, then goal line work. Got Zeke at 24. 25 and 26, I got 2 banged up running backs right now, Leonard Fournette and Joe Mixon. I expect them both to play, but I am not a doctor. As the week progresses, they could climb up these rankings if they become a full go. Both of them inside the top 15 overall running backs if fully healthy. Just something to pay attention to. Didn't want you to overly forget about them. 27, this is where I put Latavius Murray, and I don't really love it, but it's a decent matchup going up against Carolina, and there's no one else in this backfield to take touches away from him now. Melvin Gordon was waived. Chase Edmonds is hurt. He's on IR. A lot of Latavius Murray here, and plus he's scoring touchdowns in Denver. 28 is where I put Isaiah Pacheco. He's going up against the Rams. Not the easiest of matchups. We haven't seen him get any pass catching work here as of late. He's running great, but he's not finding the end zone and he's not catching passes, so his ceiling is overly capped right now. Safer floor, don't mind him as a solid flex play. He's at 28. 29 is where I put DeAndre Swift because I feel like this would seem like the Lions type of thing to do. Slow play the return of DeAndre Swift. They're starting to win some games, and now they play Buffalo. They want to make a statement. They want to show they're for real. They try to just unleash the dogs and try to knock off the upset of the Buffalo Bills and use DeAndre Swift more than we've seen here as of late. And then number 30, Raheem Mostert, I mentioned with Jeff Wilson Jr. This is a game in which I expect Miami to get a lead, rely heavily on the run late. Raheem Mostert, even though he's lost touches to Jeff Wilson, has proven that he can still produce with both these guys in the backfield. But after we've concluded our top 30, I'm almost positive you're going, but Jake, where's so-and-so? Man, so-and-so is being slept on. Did you forget about somebody? No, don't forget. There are no bye weeks this week. All the teams are playing, so a lot of these guys that maybe we've been without, a few each week, they're all here right now. But I do have my first 5 out, right? These are the 5 guys closest to breaking into the top 30. We got D'Onta Foreman of the Carolina Panthers. I'm worried about Sam Darnold being the quarterback there, if I'm being completely honest. Cordarrelle Patterson of the Atlanta Falcons. I love Cordarrelle Patterson, but the volume just hasn't been there, and if it wasn't for a kick return for a touchdown last week, he would have killed you in back-to-back weeks. Then we go to New England. Damian Harris is another guy who's looked great, but just not getting the volume. If he starts to get more volume, could definitely become a flex play for a lot of people. Samaje Perine, obviously, if we're without Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine climbs drastically in these rankings, probably up inside my top 18. And then Rachaad White as well, right? We're monitoring Leonard Fournette. If he's limited at all going into the weekend, Rachaad White is another one of those guys that could be verge top 18 to 20 or so this week. Don't forget about those guys. But there's a lot of guys I didn't even mention, right? Like Brian Robinson and Elijah Mitchell. We don't know about Gus Edwards just yet. There's a lot of names. Michael Carter is a guy that could climb up the rankings as well, now that we know that Mike White is starting and is a quarterback that is really focused on checkdowns to his running back. There's a lot going on here this week, a lot of teams in place, but there's some really good matchups that we don't want to ignore either. So that's going to do it for my quick and dirty top 30 running backs and my top 24 overall quarterbacks. If you enjoy the content, do me a favor, hit the like button down below, and don't forget to pre-order your draft guide now using that promo code THANKS22 so you can get 30% off your draft guide for 2023. And then you can just sit back, you can relax, and know that you're taken care of for next year during fantasy football season. But hopefully you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Hopefully you and your family are able to sit back, relax, have some good quality time. We thank you guys so much for the support that you've shown us here over this year, and we just look forward to ending the year on a high note with you, Headliner Nation. But I'm gonna get out of here for the day. Hopefully you have a great rest of your day, a great Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll talk to you later.